Hello, it's April from Learn, Do, Become. Today we're talking about how we are human and we need time to recalibrate. This is audio number 6 of our Organized Mindset series in preparation for our 4 weeks to finished coaching program, which, if you're listening when this first goes live, it is launching on Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Or if you're listening to this way later and you're thinking, well, I want to be a part of it, you can either join our current 4 weeks to finish or get on the wait list at learndobecome.com/4 weeks. The number 4, WEEKS. All right, let's jump in and talk about our humanness and how we need time to recalibrate. This is a really basic concept. We know we're human beings, and we know when we pack our days, weeks, and months full to the brim without building in time to recalibrate, we send ourselves into a serious state of overwhelm. So let's talk about why we do this. In every job, profession, industry, etc., recalibration isn't optional. It's just built into the process. For example, an airplane would never land and then take off again without refueling, unloading the luggage, giving the new passengers time to board, right? Cleaning out the airplane, etc. Every post office, school, business, etc. has times when they are closed so the employees can rest, the buildings can be cleaned, and anything broken can be fixed. Now, even Disneyland, I worked there when I was 18, it's open 365 days a year. But they have a few hours in the middle of the night when all of the gardening and painting and restocking, etc. is completed, so it's ready for guests the next day. I always had fun because sometimes I worked late, maybe till like 11:30, 12:30, and then I would be, closing up, cleaning up, putting things away, and all the guests would leave, and then I got to walk through the park at night with no one in there, and I would see all these people coming out with the hoses and the trucks, and they were planting flowers and doing all this awesome stuff, and it was so fun to be there in the middle of the night with the middle of the night crew. Anyway, I always went home to go to bed, but I was impressed. They were there in the middle of the night. And when we think about our society as a whole, there are laws regarding how many hours an individual can work in a week or so in order to protect us from overwhelm. And that makes sense, right? We want to create healthy societies that are sustainable. And we don't want people who are exhausted doing really important work where they could actually put lives at risk or their own life at risk. So then why do we fill our lives to the brim and give ourselves very little time to recalibrate, replenish, reassess, etc.? Why do we build more into our days than we can actually do? And why do we have the desire to do a lot at once, more than is humanly possible? Why, with our human minds, do we expect superhuman things from ourselves? Now, this may not be an issue for you, but here's just a quick scenario to help check in. Do you ever get home from work or errands or being out with your children or perhaps finishing up an event, and then you throw your bags down and you head out to the next activity, and then you come home and you hurry through dinner, leaving expired food in the fridge and crumbs on the counter and then dirty dishes in the sink, and then you plop down on the couch because you're so tired, leaving everything until tomorrow, but then you start the activities again and you tell yourself that you'll clean up someday, and then someday doesn't ever come, so you simply live in the piles and chaos, randomly grabbing piles of things to launder when you're out of clothes, or haphazardly getting food at the grocery store to stick in front of the food of the fridge that you know you should go through, that's maybe already expired, or that's going to cause a problem in the future. I mean, I'm speaking from personal experience here. And maybe the details of this scenario aren't exact. This could be rewritten for a purely like office or digital technology scenario where you go from one email to the next, or one meeting to the next, or one project to the next, never actually stopping to ask yourself what it is you're working toward, or if this pace is actually serving you and your goals. So essentially what I want to know is if you ever catch yourself going from one thing to the next without recalibrating. Now, we aren't going to solve this entire issue in the next few minutes. Obviously, there are some complexities here. And there's probably a lot of pain I might have just stirred up. So sorry, but not sorry, because we're going to talk a little more about it. I want to get you to a point where you don't feel that pain anymore. That's why we do STEP. That's why we have our Arise membership. We want to get you out of that. But let's go ahead, and I'm just going to share a few thoughts to consider why we do this. And then I have a few thoughts to help solve the problem. And really, my goal here isn't to say, hey, I'm the expert to help you solve this whole problem. But I do want to say, these are questions that have helped me in the past. And I believe that as you think about it and consider it, you might not like my ideas, but you might come up with another idea that's going to solve it for you. So you're the expert on your life. I mean, you're here at Learn to Become listening to a podcast. So clearly you're someone who wants to move forward and architect your life and take charge and get organized and live a life you're excited to lead. So I know who I'm speaking to. Let's go ahead and let's just dive in. Okay. So here's the first reason why I think we might do this. The gap between where we are and where we want to be might be so big that we are convinced that moving faster will somehow get us there. And I feel this so deeply. There were times where financially we were like, we've got to get our heads above water. Or when I was super sick, I'm like, I don't have many hours of the day when I feel healthy. I've just got to move as fast as I can before I get sick again, or something like that. So I understand if you're in a state right now where you're just feeling panicked because you feel like there's so much to do. So I don't want to discount that, but I want us to just pause and let's talk about it a little bit more. Maybe slowing down is painful because we have to face our situation head on. This especially does happen when we're sick or weighed down emotionally or have low energy for some other reason. And it's hard sometimes to admit that we need rest, especially when it seems like everyone else is up and at 'em. And maybe we think if we're constantly in motion, we're proving to ourselves and our families and our neighbors and coworkers, society, that we are producers. We're producing something. We're not worthless. And that motion can give us a rush that perhaps replaces the satisfaction that we're looking for in other areas. So let's say you have a job that's not the right job for you. It's not paying you what you need. It's not giving you that sense of purpose that you're desiring. But you think if you just work more hours, it's going to solve the problem. Well, that doesn't solve the problem if you're in the wrong job, right? Okay, number 2. Our hearts want to do more than our bodies can complete. And because we don't want to let our hearts down, we push our bodies as far as we possibly can. Now, this is a hard one. I find myself in this spot often. My husband will want me to attend an event with him. My friend wants to talk with me. My child wants me to get something in the mail or drive to a spontaneous activity or check something online. A neighbor invites me to a party. Our church needs volunteers to serve. The local political group wants help fundraising. The person knocking on my door wants to paint my address on my curb. And I care deeply about people. I'm sure you do too. And so each of these scenarios is really important to me, and it hurts my heart sometimes when I'm forced to prioritize. So if someone needs to take on the pain of no, it's easiest on me in the short term if that person who takes on the pain is me. And of course, I know people who have no problem with boundaries, like the ones I listed above regarding relationships, but sometimes their struggles are with workaholism. Oh, one more client, one more call, one more email, one more comment on social media, one more meeting, conversation, etc. I see people who are literally on their phones every 9 minutes throughout the whole day, trying to just keep this thing going. And it can go on because the vision they see for their lives is so much bigger than what is reasonable for a human being. And it's this compulsion, we almost get like addicted to just moving faster, go, do it all. Maybe it'll settle my heart. Maybe I'll feel worthwhile, Now, these aren't comfortable conversations. You're like, I just wanted to listen to a nice podcast, and you're giving me a whole lot to think about that I don't want to think about. Well, that's how we solve the problem, okay? We have to talk about these things that are uncomfortable, and we have to ask ourselves the questions. The only way I've gotten out of messes in my life was to ask myself, is this really the life that's serving me? Are these really the activities that are serving me? Are these really the relationships that are healthy for me? Are these expectations really helping me get to where I need to be in my life? Is this what God wants for me? And sometimes when you just think, well, I'm already committed, I already have to do it, I can't say no, I can't let anyone down, when you go through all that, you don't even want to ask those hard questions because you don't want the answers. Like, I've been there, and I get it. So I just want to share that if you are brave enough to sit down and ask those hard questions and be okay having some answers that aren't desirable or are going to maybe put you through some temporary pain, it's worth it, because then on the other side, you're going to finally feel that relief you've been looking for. I really don't like it when I know there are people in our community who are living in pain when they could get out. Like, that's the hardest thing. It's hard for me to watch it with any of my children, with my friends, with my family members, when they'll say, oh, I'm in pain. I just have to be in this pain. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, that situation could be changed if you wanted it to. But, sometimes we don't. Okay, sorry, I'm totally off script right now. Let's go to number 3. Third reason we do this. We don't want to miss out. FOMO is a real thing. For introverts and extroverts, it can look very different, but sometimes saying no to an activity, invitation, or request feels terrible. What if everyone else is having fun? What if they all get ahead because they participated? What if their business takes off or their children end up getting more awards because they did more than I did? Or what if I see it posted later on social media and I realize I truly missed something amazing? Or what if I'm looked down upon because I'm not there? What if I miss a chance to build a relationship or do something kind or fulfill my purpose because I'm doing something random like cleaning my fridge or taking a nap? Now, recalibration works best when we have a process and a reliable routine in place that enables us to renegotiate expectations with ourselves without worrying that everything will be forgotten if not done right now. So I'm going to share some kind of mental tricks and some practical tips that can help encourage regular recalibration. And I hope that these ideas will spark some additional thoughts that really will work ideally for your own situation. Okay, so first, it's helpful to identify what our homeostasis is for our energy, relationships, home life, work life, etc. I put together a few questions for you to consider. How much rest is non-negotiable so that you're functioning and you're not crazy and crying and fussy and grumpy? How much time, energy, and attention do we truly need to invest in our marriages, partnerships, children, extended family, neighbors, etc., in order to feel really good about how we're showing up for the people in our lives? I really prioritize people. That's what matters to me. At the end of this life, it's not about my closets. It's the people. How messy can your house be before it starts to weigh on you? How engaged do we need to be in our work and professional life in order to know we're doing the right things in the right way to support our families financially and do the work we were meant to do? So those are just some questions, because if you know what your homeostasis is, now you kind of have a standard that you're going to be working towards, that you want to be able to maintain that homeostasis or even improve it so you feel good. And the way you know if you're in homeostasis is you're walking around your house and you don't feel stressed about it. You don't feel a pull or a tug, oh, I should be doing more at work, or oh, I haven't talked to my kids, or oh, my spouse and I haven't had any time to connect. Like, you have this peace. That's when you know you're in homeostasis. Okay, second suggestion. We can commit to moving at a calm, sustainable pace and reprogram our minds to avoid the frenzy. I've been thinking about the word frenzy a lot because many people in the world are in a frenzy I even have a hard time going on social media sometimes because I'm just like, why is everyone in such a frenzy? What are we doing? At least here in the United States, it is absolutely socially acceptable to be busy from morning until night without time for a break. But what we don't often see are the moments and weeks and months of burnout that happen behind the scenes. Personally, I used to move really, really fast, and then I would cry and have meltdowns and have to go to bed for a few days at a time. Or I would let the subconscious stress build up and I would get super sick, and then I would spend weeks in bed. But over the past several months, I have been deliberately reprogramming my brain with calm as the key word. It has been so fun, hard, but fun. And I've chosen to only work at a pace that I can sustain for the rest of my life. I'm still a hard worker, but I'm doing it in a sustainable way. And I'm breathing and I'm calm and I'm careful with what I choose to do. And it's been interesting to see how my health has improved and my mood has improved, my work has improved, especially because I stopped evaluating my success based on how much I did. Third, we can accept that limits are a gift. Beautiful things come from rest, and it's often when we are the most thoughtful and reflective. It's when we can consider our favorite relationships. It's when we can commune with the divine. It's when our bodies can heal. It is fantastic to have a heart that wants to do everything, but it is more fantastic, I think, to have a heart that can feel that same desire and compassion, but also feel good about modeling a healthy lifestyle. Fourth, when that creep starts to happen, like, oh my gosh, my lists are getting too long, the homeostasis is suffering, it's helpful to utilize some tools from your Command Central to renegotiate with yourself. Now, if you're new here, you might not know, I help teach people how to build a Command Central. That's a system that holds all your papers and tasks and ideas and projects and all the things, and it brings them to you when you need them. And I'll just share a couple parts of the Command Central that I love. One is the someday list. I love it because it enables me to take things that I wish I could do right now, but that I don't need to prioritize, and put them into a safe place where I will review the idea in the future. Every good idea has its time, but that time is not always now. If you go to our YouTube channel, if you just type Learn, Do, Become into YouTube, you can find we have lots of videos to help you. I have a video, I think it's called like One Folder and One Note. It helps create mental clarity or something like that. Anyway, go to YouTube. I'll show you what it looks like. Another thing from my Command Central that I love are my calendar triggers. I can easily take something I'm worried about or something I'm hoping to do. I can take it off my plate and set a calendar trigger on a specific day in the future when I want that idea to come back to me. It gives my brain a rest, but I feel confident that I won't forget about that idea for good. Now, Google Calendar or a digital task manager works really well for these. Sometimes I even make full lists like when I get home from vacation or after Christmas. It's this long list. And I take a picture of it. I add it to a calendar trigger. That's where Asana is great, ASANA. I take pictures and I can add it to a task and add a deadline, and it comes back to me and the picture is right there. That's pretty fun. Or in something like Evernote, I can set a reminder on Evernote. It'll pop up. There's lots of ways. You can email it to yourself, delayed. Lots of fun stuff you can do. But what's so awesome is that once I've taken that picture of the list, added it to a calendar trigger, now I can take a deep breath knowing it will show up after that busy period of time, so I can reassess those specific tasks when things have calmed down. Someone said, oh my gosh, when you taught me how to do that, it saved me from tipping over the edge at Christmas. So, okay, keep that in mind, calendar triggers. Getting our hearts and minds to cooperate and support our humanness definitely takes some effort. But it is a skill that will serve us all well, not just for the now, but far into the future. I want you to create a life you love. And I want you to know that just because everyone around you seems to be moving at a crazy pace and loving every minute of it, the real story most likely isn't being shared. Humans need to recalibrate. Humans deserve to have calm hearts and minds. Humans have the capacity to do amazing things in the world, but it doesn't have to happen right this instant with absolute perfection in a way that invites fame, publicity, and standing ovations. So your Learn to Become invitation is to take a look at your life right now and assess how your regular recalibration is going. Are you moving through life in a sustainable way? Is there anything that would help you to adjust things so that you can feel lighter when you wake up each morning? These are questions that could be really helpful to have with a spouse or a partner or a trusted friend. I genuinely want the best for you. I feel like my mission is to help you to get out of that overwhelm. You don't have to live in overwhelm. We can just stop it, okay? But you need to replace the overwhelm with something else, a healthier mindset, a very simple system to keep things moving so you can take care of your family, pay your bills, keep yourself safe, do all those things that are really important to you, to care for the people in your life. I mean, I hear you. I get your emails. I know that you're weighed down. You're like, how much can I take? How much can I take? How many people can I take care of? How many things can I manage? Everyone just keeps throwing stuff at me. I understand that, but I want you to know that there is a way to calm the storm, to get out of the overwhelm. A lot of it has to happen in your own mind and prepare yourself for it. You need to recalibrate because you are a human. I need to recalibrate because I'm a human. Rest, moving at a pace that feels really good, setting really healthy boundaries, investing in good relationships, stimulating our minds, becoming more educated, becoming more skilled, being able to be compensated for those skills so that you can elevate your standard of living, be able to have plenty so you can take a deep breath and walk around your house and just feel like things are so beautiful and life is so beautiful. And I can keep things simple and I can use my skills and I can laugh and I can have fun. I can enjoy my family. I can serve. I can enjoy nature. I can take advantage of the awesome opportunities available to me without having to do everything all the time. Oh, doesn't that feel so good? All right. If you are interested in working with us to build your Command Central in 4 weeks, come to learndobecome.com/4 weeks. The number 4, WEEKS. You can get on the wait list or you can sign up depending on when you're listening to this. 4 weeks to finish helps you build your Command Central. Or if you're in our STEP program or you want to be part of our STEP program, we have a 1-month plan and we're going through it. It's starting May 31st is when our whole community is going to be jumping into our 4 weeks again. We love it. So fun. All right. Sending a huge hug. And all of the audios that we are recording right now are at learndobecome.com/crush it. Sorry. All right. Love you guys. Take care and do great things and take a nap. Okay. Bye.